I hope you all are doing great. My name is Anjali and I am an educator at Relevel by Unacademy. Today we are going to do basic constructs. In this we are going to do some advanced problem solving on loops. And when we have to start programming, loops are something which we always have to, like, I have always encouraged people to solve questions on loops, and the reason is, if you are able to solve any problem on loops, you are actually going to drill yourself to an extent where you are actually thinking of what the possible solution could be for this particular one. So that is what is going to happen today as well. I will be taking you through some simple loops, and then I will be like just modifying it so that I can show you that okay, this is the simpler version of this question, and when we are actually adding some constraint to it, how it is actually getting changed. So let's get started. So if you will see in the first one how it is actually going to be there, it is actually in the form of a pyramid. Actually, all the three patterns are in the form of pyramid only. But before moving into the pyramid, I will show you how we can actually print any of the pattern. So initially, we are not going to keep any constraint that we want to have something like this only. We are going to solve it in the incremental approach. So here, if you will actually observe how it is happening, in the first row we have 1 star, in the second row we have 3 stars, then 5 stars, then 7 stars, and so on. So whenever we have anything where we have to print patterns or anything, what do you have to do? The first thing is always going to be, you have to analyze how the pattern is actually getting printed. In such a case, you always have to see how many white spaces are there, how many patterns are there, and if we are printing some pattern, like in the second and third one, if you will see, there are some numbers. So we'll have to observe how those numbers are getting printed, because whenever we have to print a pattern, we have to run two loops. One is going to be there for the rows, another one is going to be there for the columns. So when we are going to run those loops, we always have to ensure that which particular value is getting displayed there and from where it is coming. Is it going to come from the rows or is it going to come from the columns? Okay, we are going to actually analyze all these things step by step. So first of all, I will be taking you to Visual Studio Code, and there I will be showing you one basic pattern, like a very simple pattern. And in that pattern only, we are going to modify it so as to reach to the end product, which we really want to have it on the screen. So, let us say, before going there, let us say we want to print something like this, just a very basic pattern. If you will see how many stars do we have? 5 stars. And if I want to have some pattern where we have 5 stars in 5 rows. So this is very simple pattern, right? Because in this, we are not putting any condition. We are just displaying our stars one after the another. All right, so that is how it is there. So here, what do we have? We have 5 rows and we have 5 columns. And the reason why I'm telling you all these things from scratch, because you should be aware about how it actually gets printed, and later on, if we have to modify it, how we are going to modify our question. Okay. So now let's come to the Visual Studio Code. And here what I will do, I'm just going to display let rows. So how many rows I am having? 5. Then how many columns do I want? 5. Then after that, what I am doing, I'm just running a loop which is going to start from 0. And since I am saying first one is going to be there for the rows, so let us run from, and I'll be running it from 1. Okay. And then I plus plus. Then in the second one, what I will be doing, I will be for the column. So the column 1 has to go from 1 till your last column. And if you actually know, if we are going to use, there also I have to update. So if you are just using console log, what is the issue you are going to face? So in the console log, your values actually, like first value is going to print, the second time console log is going to get triggered, it is going to print it in the next statement. But for the patterns, we are very specific that okay, in this particular row these values should be there and so on. So in order to achieve it, what we will be doing, like I'll actually show you that example. Okay, firstly, so if we have something like this and if we are going to run it, you can see it is simply printing all these stars. Is it anywhere close to something which we wanted? Answer is no. So you know what we will be doing here? We are going to take some string value. Initially it is going to be empty. So let me declare it here. So what we are going to do in this particular one, so whatever string we have, we are going to initialize it to empty string. In every iteration, we are going to build whatever row it is going to have. After building it, we are going to, like in second time when it is going to come here, that is going to be there for the second row, right? So we are going to reset it to empty. And then second one is going to get built up accordingly. And I will show you what we are doing. So in this one, what I want to do, when we are going to enter here, I just want to print a star. So you know what this one is going to do? This one is actually going to build the entire row. That is the whole purpose why we are using string here. And here what we can do, you can just simply console log your string. Now if I will run, you can see how your output has significantly changed. So now you can see it is quite similar to what we wanted. So what it is doing, we are running a loop here and starting a string. Then we are running a loop for the columns. So, you know, in particular row, it is building all the columns one after the another. So for every value, what I am doing, since I was not considering any constraint, it was like a blank, not blank, a simple pattern. Okay. So for every column, what we are doing, we are just adding one star to it. And then before moving to the second column, what we are doing, we are just printing it out. So that way it actually gets simpler. Okay. Now let us come back to the question which we had. So here if you are going to observe 1 star, then 3, then 5, then 7, then probably here it is going to be 9 stars. So let's come back there and we will analyze how we can actually print such a pattern. So it is like you have a star here. Then you have 3 stars. After that, we have 5 stars. After that, we have 7 stars. So like this, all your stars are going to be there. If you will observe, these spaces are actually dependent upon the last row, as in if last row is having 7 stars, so in this particular one you are going to have one empty space. One row above we are going to have 2 empty space. One row above we are going to have 3 empty space, and here also we are actually having some empty spaces. That is how it is actually getting building up, correct? So in this particular case, what we will be doing, we have to take care of the empty space and then we'll have to take care of the stars. So what basically we are going to do when we are running it for one entire row. So what we will do, we are going to check how many empty spaces are there. Then we are going to print a pattern and then we'll have to come to the next line. Okay. So let's move and we will be solving code for the same.